What's up everyone? Welcome to Manhwa Empire Recap. I update content on manhwa stories. If you enjoy my content, please give this video a like and consider subscribing. In today's video, we will be diving into the Black Haze manhwa story. Here you'll see the main character, the doubtful Rood, is taken to Helios, a renowned magic school, after a job gone wrong. He is tasked with protecting the kid of a prominent figure who is having a terrible time at school. A brown-haired woman, a few soldiers, and the singer Saren ride into the Lucan forests in a carriage. Demons have reportedly been seen wandering through these forests recently, according to reports. Saren was confident that she would survive despite this. The black magician then intervenes to save her as a high-level demon attacked the carriage. He then requests her autograph. After completing his previous errand, the black magician returns and runs across Ms. Ren, another Opian member. She is clutching a stack of papers. He notices. They then converse briefly before she departs to see Master. One of the documents Ren was carrying just so happened to drop on the floor as she was departing. Blow opens Master's door with a kick and flings the paper in his direction. The Master presents a blank stare. Before Master could respond, another piece of paper was thrown at Blow as he began to complain. This time, Saren's signature was on it. When Master learned about the specifics of this task, he was shocked to learn that a demon had attacked. He declares that the lobby Saren works in is a safe zone, which implies that the tower is guarding it. The Master then makes the decision to investigate this. When questioned about why he was still awake, Blow changes back into Rood. Then, Rood charges forward and slams his hand into the Master's desk. He demands to be given a suitable mission. The Magicians Association's Shik, in particular, has been searching for Blow since that day. As Master tries to explain, Master caves and assigns Rood a new task. He reveals that there is a bi-monthly auction that only offers the most valuable objects for sale. A magic stone bearing the name will arrive at the upcoming auction. The issue is that other magicians also know this information, which suggests that it will make the mission more challenging. In the future, Master is seen carrying a piece of paper containing Rood's accepted application to the special magic school Helios. Master mutters to himself that he couldn't reveal it to him because he would lose his cool if he did. On the second floor, Ms. Ren and Rood can be seen watching from above. They discuss the mission for a brief period of time. The mission's purpose, to exact retribution, is made clear through a flashback. Master explains that a rank 3 magician by the name of Cloak severely humiliated the client. He is to be humiliated in return at the desire of this unidentified female. Surprisingly, it was to Pants the guy. Tessiana and Ram, two of the princess's servants, are present. Lapis, a young man, and his father are also bidding in the auction. Shik is being spoken to by a man who explains that their goal is to safeguard the mystical stone. Shik is visible, however, picking leaves from a branch and murmuring, "He'll come, he won't come." He keeps doing this until he reaches the final leaf, at which point he will come. The main item, Shajan's Heart, a rare magic stone of the highest class, is introduced by the auctioneer. The throng cheers and ogles the stone. Ms. Ren asks Rood if he can detect the target's aura in the meantime. He responds that it is impossible for him to identify the target since there are too many individuals and their auras are all mingled. He into his other form after that. Blow responds that his mana is good when Ms. Ren inquires about it. Magicians on the ground floor try to grab the magic stone as security personnel surround them. A pair of hands stop the first attacker as he lunges for the mystical stone. Those hands belong to someone with beast-like ears and a tail. The attackers are then pushed back by this man. He is recognized by the audience by virtue of the robe he was donning as well as his ears and tail. He becomes enraged at being referred to as the association's loyal dog, Lanos' dog, when the onlookers exchange information until they identify him as such. Instead, Blow identifies him as the companion who was present that day, informing the gathering that it is his duty to keep the stone safe until the auction is over. Lanos' dog issues a strong warning against any further attempts at theft. Shikhnoon, his partner, grabbed the stone and leaped to the top of a statue before he could finish speaking. The black magician, who he senses is nearby, is then called out in a challenge by the man. Assuming that the stone was Blow's intended object, Shikhnoon commands him to go grab it. Blow is adamantly opposed to leaving to avoid Shikhnoon when Ms. Ren asks him to do so. Magicians think they have no hope of defeating Shikhnoon, who they claim is in a league of his own, even if they come together and launch an all-out assault. Shikhnoon's sculpture is destroyed by Tessiana, a blue-haired female magician who claims she was trying to participate in the auction and that Shikhnoon was in the way. Shikhnoon is enraged by this and responds by accusing her of getting in his way. Blow chooses to utilize the escalating turmoil as cover to carry out his objective after spotting his target. Shikhnoon has the upper hand as Tessiana and Shikhnoon start fighting. Her sword stroke is easily stopped by his palm, and he quickly blasts her away from close range. He approaches her crumpled form and grabs her by the hair. Tessiana wakes up and escapes. Tessiana, the princess's bodyguard, is engaged in a quarrel, so Rom drags the princess outside. Crowd members are eagerly looking for the mystical stone. Lanos' dog, who is upset with shikhnoon for not delivering it to him before the fight, is the most prominent of them. Amid an internal struggle about his embarrassing objective, Blow approaches Cloak before lunging forward to pants him and then reversing course just in time. Instead, he grabbed hold of Cloak's shale, which exposed the magic stone that Cloak was trying to conceal. Blow wakes up as Cloak starts screaming at him, thinking he's trying to take the stone. He attacks, and Blow's counters. Blow's cloak is torn off by the hit and his identity is made clear. Shikhnoon gets distracted from his battle with Tessiana as the audience members shout, "It's the Black Magician." Shikhnoon then turns to look at the audience. Blow requests that everyone stay away from him until he is finished with his business. In error, Cloak perceives it as a request for the magic stone to be taken from him. Earlier than Blow can reprimand him, Shikhnoon attacks him. In the center of a 4-point crater, Tessiana is hurt. The following time they battle, she swears she won't lose again. Shikhnoon, in the meantime, places Blow up against a wall and says, "Hello, Blackie." The other magicians intercept Cloak as he attempts to leverage Blow and Shikhnoon altercation to steal the stone. Ms. Ren considers that since Blow's mission was not intended to be lengthy or difficult, she did not carry any mana stones to recharge, which puts Blow at a disadvantage. With their magic circles pressed up against one another, Blow and Shikhnoon are at a standstill. Blow makes an effort to persuade Shikhnoon that there is no need for a battle because he is not trying to steal the stone and is therefore not getting in the way of Shikhnoon's purpose. Shikhnoon, however, rejects the ceasefire and launches an assault. Lapis, who is perched on the balcony, predicts that the structure would eventually collapse and then turns to face his father, who has already escaped. Lapis struggles with the decision of running away or staying to watch the battle of two elite magicians. Blow is informed by Shikhnoon that he is unconcerned with whether or not Blow is aiming at the stone. Then he continues by saying that he has been looking for him ever. He claims that he has gone to every mission where he may have shown up in vain. Blow flees to the balcony while still wearing only his cloak after Shikhnoon grabs hold of it and fires a direct shot at him. Shikhnoon is upset that he can no longer see Blow. When Blow doesn't have a reason to fight, he'll just have to invent one. The man leans down to the ground and says, "On the ground floor of the structure, a sizable magic circle has been drawn. The magicians who were attacking Cloak are stopped by Blow, who tells them to leave because the building is going to blow up and that he is in a hurry. Cries that the Black Magician is there and points in some random location in an effort to divert Shikhnoon from blowing up the building. Unknowingly, Blow is in the area he indicated with his finger. Shikhnoon steps on Cloak's head after defeating him with a single blow and telling Blow to fight him rather than be garbage like this. Shikhnoon is about to attack when their mana evaporates, causing them to collide and both of them to be sent flying. Demons begin to form as strange summoning circles appear. Shikhnoon notifies Lanos' dog that the magic stone has vanished after Ms. Ren discovers Blow. Ms. Ren tries to persuade Blow to teleport off, but Blow is hesitant because he has not yet finished his duty. They are cut off by Shikhnoon so that Blow won't go. Blow argues that given the circumstances, they shouldn't be fighting, but Shikhnoon responds that he doesn't care what happens and attacks Blow. Lanos' dog uses his body to deflect the blow and orders Shikhnoon to stop. Lanos' dog wants to get away before the mages of the tower show up to handle the noise. When a demon attacks Ms. Ren, Lapis saves her, but Lapis then needs Blow to save her. After handing the reluctant Blow a teleportation scroll, Ms. Ren instructs him to forget about his objective. As she begins the spell, she offers to take Lapis and Rune along. Shikhnoon recreates the magic circle in a fit of rage at Blow's attempt to flee. The teleportation spell is completed by Ms. Ren just before the building blows up. Two demons are present in the nearby woods, one of which destroys the demon summoning circle. The other demon, who is seated on a limb above, is then addressed with respect by him. The demon, known as Rubamonter, smashes the magic stone with her bare hands and exclaims that people are dull, demeaning beings. The master receives a report from Ms. Ren and declares that a calculating error occurred. He was not informed that Shikhnoon would show there, and if he had been, he wouldn't have sent Blow. They talk about how Blow's most recent tasks involved hiding him from both Shikhnoon and other magicians. Moreover, he wanted to give him a rest. In the meantime, Rood is conducting research on summoning circles in a cafe. He assesses his diagram of the circle against those in the book. Ben, his young waiter, shows up and regales Rood with tales of the Black Magician's exaggerated accomplishments at the auction house. A female noble is spotted at the same time traveling in a carriage with numerous servants. She pledges to do everything it takes to support that boy. Rood looks at his sketch as he strolls down the street after leaving the cafe when a strong gust of wind knocks it away. When Rood goes after the newspaper, he finds that it has been scooped up by a gang of men in a back alley. When they refuse to return it, Rood quickly subdued them through combat. When it is discovered that one of the men is a level 6 magician, he pursues Rood to a rooftop. In order to avoid being attacked and to escape his pursuers, Rood leaps off the roof. He accidentally lands on the nobleman's carriage. In order to convince the noble's attendant to let him go, Rood apologizes. Lisbon, the attendant, remarks that a typical child cannot leap from the top of a building and survive. The nobility is amazed by Rood's skills. To meet Master, Rood travels back to Opium. He learns that the same nobility was present, enjoying a cup of tea. Out of disbelief, Rood slams the door shut. He begins to question their presence. He is dragged inside once the master opens the door and introduces them as clients, and conveniently seated across from the noblewoman is Rood. He responds in the affirmative when the lady inquires as to if he is the youngster the master alluded to. Master continues by informing her that Rood is a rank 7 rookie who recently learned magic, which confuses Rood because it is untrue. In her introduction to Rood, the noblewoman refers to herself as the woman whose carriage he landed on and says she has faith in his talents. She is addressed as Duchess by the master after thanking her for the praise. Upon hearing this, Rood is surprised by her high rank. Let's start the story, the Duchess then offers. Duchess Daner says that her second son gets bullied at school and nicknamed a monster. She asks that her son be protected and allowed to live a normal school life. Rood begins screaming at Master when she leaves since she introduced him while he was still in his rude form. When Master presents Rood his letter of admittance to Helios, which he looks at in shock, his ranting is silenced. The Master becomes alarmed when the man abruptly hands the letter back to him, gets his backpack, and announces that he is leaving Opium. When they are in the thick of a scene, Ms. Wren enters and forces them to sit down and discuss things. Rood is discouraged that Ms. Wren was aware of the plot as well, and they both try to persuade him to attend. Rood is told by Ms. Wren that he has an option. Rood considers it for a while before deciding. The master advises him to keep a low profile and conceal the fact that he is a fully awakened official magician. Rood searches through the Duchess data and selects a photo of a boy with a commanding appearance. When he puts the picture on the table and inquires about the bully, he is informed that the image is of the Duchess' son, Lygices Dean Arshan. Ben Noah tries to write letters to his sister, who is enrolled at Helios, but the post office clerk turns him away because he lacks an authorization certificate. Rood arrives just then and tells the woman to send his bags with the letters as he gives her his certificate. Students at Helios are talking about the new transfer student in class, but when Lygices enters, the conversation stops. In a flashback, Master tells Rood that despite the fact that Rood had not taken the admission exam, he had passed it with a perfect score. Even though Rood does not have a chronic ailment, he is informed that the real reason he is a month late is that the Master has just alerted him about the school application. Rood is currently considering how he would complete his task while maintaining such a snobbish persona. He then makes the decision to complete the mission as soon as possible so that he can come back. The instructor who is bringing Rood to his class emphasizes that at Helios, talent is the only factor that matters. However, the majority of pupils fail to fulfill their potential to become magicians and, as a result, become depressed. Rood is then asked by the professor what he will do if he is unable to overcome his limitation. He shocks the teacher by declaring that he would simply have to give up if he was unable to succeed despite his best efforts. He is then welcomed to Helios by the professor. A man complains as he walks onto the balcony of a house overlooking a beach cliff. He hesitates before opening the balcony door and says, "Ruby Nim," in an unduly happy manner. Elzebul is shown to be this man. However, the only thing in the room is a huge purple fish that is reading a book while curled up on a pillow. Elzebul throws the fish out the window and into the ocean after the claims that Rubimonter isn't there. The two then argue. Gamode, the fish, makes an appearance and threatens Elzebul with death. Rubimonter, who is perched above the manor, sneers as she observes the conflict and points to a piece of paper that reads, "Special Magic School Helios." Then, a general summary of Helios is given. It is a magic school with 3 grade levels, Heres for the upper class, Clad for the middle class, and Iden for the lower class. All freshmen are placed at the Iden level and can advance by passing the yearly test. Rood is introduced to his new class at school. He questions why Lygices is kept apart from the other students and why he is the target of bullying in the first place given that he comes from a powerful family and has a good outward appearance. Rood's stream of thinking is interrupted by Dio Varas, a blue-haired boy, who introduces himself and gives the professor a scolding for talking in class. Dio finished last on the entrance exam, it is revealed. When his classmates surprise him with questions, Rood feels very awkward. When Dio enters, he yells at the students to leave because it is his job to take Rood around college. When they get to the library, a blonde youngster from a floor up that is solely for the Heries cries out to Dio and inquires about the condition of the monster in his class. Following the youngster's departure, Rood inquires about who that was, which prompts Dio to discuss the two most crucial guidelines for items at Helios: never oppose the Heries and never oppose Cheval von Helios, the blonde boy. Luchess is the perfect illustration of what happens to people when Cheval starts to despise you, according to Dio, who tells Rood. The sun is already sinking as Rood makes their way to the dormitories following an unusually lengthy school orientation. He is greeted by the receptionist, who says she has been anticipating his arrival. Despite her reservations about his decision, Rood persuades the receptionist to put him in the same dorm as Luchess. Luchess is dozing inside the dorm when he enters. He abruptly awakens and lunges at Rood, who immediately prevents him. After that, Luchess withdraws and crawls back into bed without saying anything. That evening, Rood's professor is questioned about the preparations by an enigmatic stranger. The enigmatic person commands the professor to fulfill the contract after the professor protests that he needs more time. In response, a ring of blue fire is set off around the professor. The following morning, everyone outside is startled when Rood peers out his window onto the courtyard while he is in the monster's room. Dio lures him into the storage room on his way to class and persuades him to switch rooms. Luchess enters the room from behind a stack of crates, interrupting him. Before Luchess starts to walk away, Rood, Dio, and Luchess exchange uneasy looks. When Rood reaches out to grab his shirt and make a conversational request, Luchess keeps walking. When Dio tries to persuade Rood that if he tries to associate with Luchess, Cheval will make his life miserable. Then, Rood inquires as to the significance of Luchess' moniker. Luchess is currently moving down the hallway. The little blonde boy who cried monster at him is sitting opposite from a young blonde girl who is covered in blood in his flashback. Dio acknowledges that he does not know why, but that a week after school started, there was an incident in the library that led to everyone calling him a monster. He is now back in the storage room. The items present claim to have witnessed Luchess mutating into a monster. The library was closed following the incident for a few days. Dio urges Rood to change rooms once more so that he won't be shunned. Upon entering the classroom, Rood picks up his desk and puts it to the rear of the room where Luchess is because he recalls the Duchess saying that Luchess cannot express his suffering. The journey may be over, but the adventure never ends. You can always start a new one, but you must never forget what you've learned. We have come to the end of today's video. What are you waiting for? Click on the subscribe button to be kept posted on every new story release. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. Thank you for watching.